Welcome back to Creepy Crawlers, where we dive deep into the most terrifying and spine-chilling stories you've ever heard. Tonight, we're stepping into a place that should be safe. A place where people are supposed to wind down after a game, a workout, or a swim. The locker room. But sometimes, even the most mundane places hide the darkest secrets. In today's episode, we'll explore real-life horror stories that unfolded in locker rooms, some involving deadly serial killers lurking where you'd least expect. You might want to think twice before entering your gym after hearing this. Story 1. The Janitor's Secret. Our first story takes place in a small-town high school. Everything was normal during the day, the usual chaos of students coming and going from practice. But after dark, the locker room was quiet, almost too quiet. The janitor, Mr. Blake, was a friendly man, always around cleaning up after everyone left. He'd been working there for years, practically invisible to the students. What they didn't know was that Mr. Blake had a hidden life. At night, when no one was around, he'd unlock the storage closet behind the lockers. Inside was a collection of old newspaper clippings about unsolved murders in the area, dating back decades. But it wasn't just a hobby. Blake had been following the careers of athletes he secretly stalked, marking them as targets. His fascination with their routines, their strength, made him feel powerless until he made his first move. One late autumn night, a star football player didn't come home after practice. His body was found a week later in the woods, his clothes folded neatly inside the locker where he'd last been seen. Over the next 2 years, the locker room became a haunted place. Students whispered about the locker that no one dared open. Number 17. Strange smells, whispers, and eerie cold drafts would fill the room late at night. They say the locker still holds the janitor's trophies, items from his victims, kept as a reminder of the power he once had over their lives. Police eventually arrested Blake after discovering his underground hideout filled with chilling evidence. But some students say he's still watching. Sudden fade to silence, followed by a sharp, eerie note. Story 2. The Disappearing Athlete. Or our second story takes us to an abandoned gym on the outskirts of a big city. It was once a thriving fitness center where local athletes would prepare for big games and events. But after one mysterious disappearance, the place was shut down, and its story remains an unsolved horror. It was 1993, and a rising track star named Cassie was training alone late at night. She'd stayed behind after practice, hoping for some peace and quiet to improve her time. As the evening wore on, the once familiar gym began to feel eerie. The fluorescent lights in the locker room flickered, and there were strange noises, taps, knocks, and what sounded like footsteps echoing across the empty hallways. But no one was supposed to be there. Cassie quickly grabbed her things and headed toward the showers, eager to finish up and leave. That's when she saw it, a shadow standing at the far end of the room, just staring. She shouted, but no response. The figure stood there, unmoving. She tried to rush past, but as she turned the corner, the shadow was gone. She dismissed it as her mind playing tricks. The next morning, the janitor found her clothes and gear scattered across the locker room. But Cassie was nowhere to be found. Days turned into weeks, and the police launched a massive investigation. The only clue they found was a single piece of torn paper in her locker, with the name of a known serial killer who had escaped a nearby prison just weeks earlier. The authorities believed he had been hiding out in the gym, stalking his next victim. To this day, no one knows for sure what happened to Cassie. Some say she's still trapped in that gym, her ghost forever running, trying to escape her killer. The building has long been abandoned, but every now and then, people report seeing lights flicker on inside. And if you listen closely, they say you can hear faint footsteps, as if someone is still running. Background music, growing tension, ending in an unsettling silence. Locker rooms are supposed to be places of safety, where we prepare ourselves physically and mentally. But sometimes, they become the last place people ever feel safe. These stories are a chilling reminder that danger can lurk anywhere, even where you least expect it. If you enjoyed tonight's tales and want more, don't forget to subscribe to Creepy Crawlers for weekly horror stories that will make you question the world around you. Share your own creepy locker room stories in the comments below, if you dare. And as always, stay safe, stay vigilant, and don't look back in the dark. _